this one's going to be new. I mean, opening Pokemon cards, French obviously, that's why it's Pokemon Ecarate Violet, I think is the correct pronunciation. This is 10 cards, they'll all be in French. The French dubs use different Pokemon names, so there's a very real possibility that I get a few cards, especially because it's obviously Scarlet and Violet, so one of the newer generations that I don't recognise, whose English names I don't know. So this is probably going to throw me off, and in the coming weeks I'm going to open cards and mix the English names up with the French names, the French names with the English. Fortunately, I've got another, I think 2 sets of cards that I bought in Italy to open, and the Italian dub uses the same names as English, so they're not going to throw me off quite as much. So let's see, can I translate these 10 cards properly? So first up is Magikarp. Pretty obvious that this is Magikarp, obviously. Different spelling, same name. So for 2 coins, if you obtain 2 heads, this attack inflicts 200 extra damage, so it does 10 base damage and does 20 extra damage. If you obtain 2 heads, I think is a correct translation. I mean, even in French this just sounds it's pretty harsh. A Pokemon totally pathetic, and on very rare occasions it's capable of jumping high, but never more than 2 meters. Bit harsh. Don't know why whoever wrote that hates Magikarp so much, but clearly someone does. Okay, and next we have Psychic Energy the best. Not much to say about that one, so let's get another Pokemon hopefully. Ferdetta. That's called Worm. I don't actually know how to pronounce this Pokemon's name. So Fair stands for iron. Pokemon. Earthworm Pokemon? Yeah, I think it's the same. Nutrition, iron, C. At least 3 energies are attached to the Pokemon. It recovers 100 HP. So it's got a HP of 130. So that's a significant amount of its health back. Pretty much it can take it from the brink of death to full health. Passing a Travere. This attack inflicts also 30 damage at one of the Pokemon. Or one of your... I need to work around French word order here. So this attack also inflicts 30 damage at one of the Pokemon benched by your opponent, or one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, I think is the best way. Don't apply either weakness or resistance to the benched Pokemon. So when it attacks this Pokemon, déploie counterpoint pour rouer de coups ses adversaires. So it uses spikes, right? these words. I just need to figure out what they mean. I can do this. Yeah, I think it uses spikes to attack its enemies. Is that the correct term? I hope so. Trying to get one rather than two. Next up, Quafaton. Is that? No, it's not a ducklet, is it? I don't think so. It's got the nice shiny water design on it. 70 HP, imprudent attack. This Pokemon also inflicts 10 damage to itself, so 30 damage to the opponent, 10 to itself. Pokemon Canaton, which I think means ducklet. Duckling. That's what it means, duckling. Originating from a far... It's not country, I don't think is the correct term. So somewhere far away. It came to install itself in the region a long time ago. Its wings secrete a gel, which we push water. Yeah, this salit. Okay, I don't recognise that word. So it's a water duck of some description. Might be a ducklet. Can't actually recall what they look like anymore. Slowly losing my mind trying to translate this and figure out what the Pokemon are actually called. Yay for torturing myself. Okay, and next up, Nemilios. That's Pyro, I'm pretty sure. So it's evolution from Alionso, which is another Pokemon that I remember from Kalos. Okay, Rusi. The active Pokemon of your opponent is now burned. Cool, inflicts a burn. Depasmo. This attack inflicts also 20 damage at one of the Pokemon of your opponent's bench. Don't apply weakness or resistance on the bench to the bench Pokemon. So, how do you translate female? I presume it means, yeah, the females of this species work in concert in order to beat their prey, defeat their prey. Obviously hunting, it's on about. Thanks to their efforts, the group satisfies its hunger, I think is the best way of describing that. It's just known as the Pokemon Royal Pokemon. I think that's the same as it is in English. Usually the Pokemon types are just translations. There are a few minor differences between English and Japanese that I've seen when it comes to like the species names, but otherwise pretty much the same. And so it's a trainer, Brom. So trainer is dresser in French. So remove special energy from all the Pokemon of your opponent. Yeah, so remove one special energy, so obviously the energies, from every single one of the Pokemon of your opponent. You can only play one single card, support a card, during your turn. And this obviously is a support card. Cryoda, the evolution of Frigoda. Okay, yeah, this one, not a clue. Don't recognise it at all. Hope you do, because I don't. That's its sort of scratch attack. I don't know the literal translation. And glacial impact. So 90 HP, pretty basic, nothing special. One attack of 40 and one attack of 80. It freezes the air around to protect its face with a mask of ice. Dunno. Its dorsal fin with frozen tears? No. Is that that's no, is it? So anyway, it protects itself with ice. That's the gist of what it says. It freezes ice to protect its body. Okay, and next we've got Cinderella, which is Gothitelle, the evolution of, so it's Gothita, then Gothorita, so the evolution of Gothorita, final evolution of Gothita. A little bit closer to Cinderella than I think it should be, to be honest. So 150 HP, and its ability is so it's reading the stars, but I feel like there's a better translation than just reading the stars. Like, I mean, that's astrology basically. One time during your turn, you can look at the two cards. So you can look at two cards at the bottom of the deck of your opponent, and then replace one with the other. Place the other card at the bottom of the deck. How would you use that effectively? You can look at the two cards. I think it means at the top of the deck, and then you can place one back, and the other one you can put to the bottom. Yeah, I think what it's saying is the next two cards rather than at the bottom of the deck, but my ability to understand what it's trying to say is a little bit compromised by a lack of knowledge in the actual game itself. Destabilization, that's 120 damage, that's a very powerful attack. So remove a card at random from the hand of your opponent. So 120 damage, and you can remove a card from your opponent's hand. Good damage, good effect, good attack. 120 will take out most Pokemon anyway. It uses its psychic powers to see the end of the universe in their dreams. So it uses its psychic powers to see, I presume it means to show the end of the universe as like it invades the dreams. would say that one says that they are as beautiful as a female. Oh, I see what it means. I was mixing up the translation of targets with it. Okay, I mixed it up. I thought it was talking about Gothitel's targets, but it's talking about, okay, it is saying that, but I mean, like the target of the attack, that's what it means. So it uses its psychic powers to make its targets see the end of the universe in their dreams. So yeah, it invades their dreams and tortures them. Good. But not good. Only 3 left. I know this Pokemon, but I can't recall its English name. Recover. Another dog. 70 HP. So I think the English one is rock throw rather than stone throw, which is the literal translation. Monsieur. That's like a bite type thing. Anyway, the rock throw only does 10, which is pretty disappointing. I feel like it should be a lot more powerful than that. And if I'm translating this right, the bite type one does 40. This Pokemon is very friendly when it is young. Okay, I must have opened this literally yesterday because I remember that. It becomes more ferocious with time, but its loyalty towards its trainer remains. I feel like infallible isn't a good term to use, it doesn't work. So it remains loyal to its trainer. No, even though it becomes more ferocious as it grows up. Cute design. Cute card, and I'm pretty sure I've now got that same card in 2 languages. When I open my Italian ones, pretty sure that they are Scarlet and Violet as well, so there's a possibility I take that from 2 to 3 different languages. Nice, cool. What comes next? Okay, so I'll give you its French name, Ramolos. I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't know what its English name is. Pokemon Crétin. It's a Slowpoke. One of the most inexplicably popular Pokemon in my opinion. But everyone sort of loves the sort of head emptiness of it, I think. Psycho-Bull, 30 damage. So that's the... What's the psychic ball attack? I think that's what it's about. I think that's it. And Pesh Q. How do you translate that? It's like it's fishing with its tail. So, you know, reading all these and trying to translate them, I know what it means, but somehow trying to put it into English is the hardest part. So, I know that the very first sentence says, launch a coin, but for some reason my mind is now going blank on what the correct English word is supposed to be. Like, it's flip a coin, but here you launch the coin. So, if it's heads, search in your deck for a card and add it to your hand. Then shuffle your deck here. If it is, could it mean empty? Maybe. So you remove a card from your hand. I'm not 100% sure if that's referring to your deck or your hand. This Pokemon is very slow and apathetic. It takes 6 seconds to feel pain provoked by an attack. So it takes 6 seconds for a Slowpoke to feel the pain caused by an attack, basically. I'll just let you have another look at it because I know how popular a Slowpoke is. Okay, final card. So, I know the Kanto starters in French off by heart. So it would be very good, because I know... Wait, no, it's a separate one. Is it? I'm pretty sure there is at least one starter in this set. It would be good if it was one of the 3 starters. And I think if I gave you their French names, you'd probably be able to guess which one's which. So you have Carapace, you have Bulbasaur, which, if you don't know which one that is, have you ever watched Pokemon? And Salamesh, which, again, pretty obvious which one's which. I mean, if you don't know French, I suppose Carapace will mean nothing to you. But Salamesh, it's a bit of a giveaway which one it is. And with one of them being called Bulbasaur, you can all but eliminate one from the other 2 anyway. So anyway, this probably isn't going to be one of the Kanto starters, so all of that was completely wasted time. But there you go. Bit of French Pokemon education. So now we have Alionso. We've got Pyro, now we've got its pre-evolution. Litleo, that's its name. Litleo. Ardent Destruction. Remove Stad from the game. Shabomuta, it's like an ember, sort of, like a flaming coal kind of a thing. For the purposes of the game, I'm not sure what Unstad is, but with Ardent Destruction you can remove one from the game. Not a clue what that means, sadly. So, the female Pyro teaches them, referring to the Litleos, to chase, so hunt. When they grow up, they leave the group, so the pride of lions obviously, and becomes independent. I'm gonna be honest, I was expecting that to go significantly worse than it actually did. We got there in the end. The 2, I suppose, rarest cards, because they're the ones with the sort of shiny designs to them, are the ones that cause me the biggest problem, because this one I know, but I can't quite recall what its name is. And this one I know is called Worm or Worm, but I can't pronounce it in English. And I might be on the brink of making fun of, completely humiliating myself, because I might be wrong. 130 HP, that's actually quite a lot, isn't it? This Pokemon's far more powerful than I expected. So I've been Japanimation. This has been me attempting to look through a pack of French cards and translate them. That was embarrassing at times, but quite fun. Saw a few extra cards, saw what the names are in French, seen what French cards are like. I'll be putting these separately away from my English language ones, and then sometime in the next few weeks hopefully I'll be opening the Italian ones, which is going to be even more fun because I speak pretty good French altogether. It's the strongest sort of second language I've got. Meanwhile, my Italian is rudimentary at best, so I'm going to know the Pokemon names because they're the same as English ones, and then I'm not going to have any clue what any of the attacks or anything say. Most likely. If I do, it will be a miracle. So stay tuned for a miracle, maybe.